Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com, and we're here today with episode number 53 in our incredible new tutorial series where you are unleashing the power of your Raspberry Pi Pico W. I will need you to pour yourself a nice tall glass of ice cold coffee. That would be straight up black coffee poured over ice. No sugar, no sweeteners, none needed. And as you're pouring your coffee, as always, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Sunfounder. Sunfounder is actually sponsoring this most excellent series of video lessons. And in this class, we will be using the Kepler kit for Raspberry Pi Pico W. Now, most of you guys probably already have your gear, but if you don't, look down in the description. There is a link over to Amazon. You can hop on over there and pick your kit up. And believe me, your life and my life are going to be a whole lot easier if we are working on identical hardware. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's jump in and talk about what I am going to teach you today. This is a follow-on to the lesson that I taught last week, where we learned how to do nominal basic functions on a NeoPixel array. Controlling a NeoPixel array from the Raspberry Pi Pico W using MicroPython. And then I gave you a homework assignment to try to go in and kind of animate it where you have one pixel color that's sort of running back and forth so that you get comfortable with not just controlling the color, but controlling the position and making your NeoPixel array a little bit dynamic. Now, if you need more instructions on how to hook it up and how to get started, go back to the last lesson. But I can give you a very quick overview or just kind of catch you up. Basically, I am using the 8 LED strip that comes in the Sunfounder kit, and you have 3 wires. The red goes to 5 volts, which I have down here, which is physical pin, physical pin 40 down here in the corner. And then on physical pin 38, I have the ground, which is the black wire. And then the center wire, the yellow wire, is data, and it comes over to physical pin 1, which is GPIO pin 0. Now, I explained how these things worked last week, but I must remind you that you must not try to hook more than an 8 pixel strip to the Raspberry Pi Pico W power. Now, from the Pico W, you can control an arbitrarily large NeoPixel strip, but you must have a separate power supply. So if you go more than 8, don't try to power it off of the 5 volts. You need to snag the 5 volts from a more high power supply. Talked about that a lot last week. Now, what the assignment was to create a field of red pixels and then have a green pixel run back and forth. How many of you guys were successful? If you were successful, leave a comment down below. I am legend. Double chest bump. And if you were not successful, leave a comment down below. I folded up like a cheap Walmart lawn chair. Okay, so hopefully you guys got it. It was just to get you to go in and kind of be familiar with what I taught last week. And so I'll go in and I'll show you my solution, and I hope some of you guys were able to do it. So let's switch over here to this view. Let's get myself out of your way. And let's jump in. A lot of this you ought to be pretty, you should be pretty comfortable with because we went over it last week. But the first thing is you're going to need to import NeoPixel. That's the library that allows you to kind of does the bookkeeping and some of the legwork for you in working with that NeoPixel array. We're also going to be using a GPIO pin, so we're going to need to say from machine import pin. And then it's always good to import time because it seems like we usually want to put some sort of delay in here. Now we got to set things up how we have it hooked up. You remember my Pix pin, the control pin to the pixel was GPIO pin 0, physical pin 1, GPIO pin 0. And then how big is my strip? Well, I'll call that Pix size. And we have 8 pixels on this particular one. Now I need to create the NeoPixel object. I'm going to call mine Pix. You could call yours Kitty Litter Box if you wanted to. I think Pix is a little more descriptive, so I will call it that. And that is equal to NeoPixel, the library we just imported, .NeoPixel, the method, and we've got to tell it which pin we're using. Pin is that method that we just imported. Which pin are we using? We are using Pix pin that we just set up. And then how big is our strip? It is Pix size, like that. Okay, now we have our NeoPixel object that we can write to. We can write data to it. And now, really, I think we need two colors because we're going to have a green dot running on a red background. And so I'm going to say red. I'm going to set up the color red, and that is a tuple. Well, it's RGB, so red is 255 full strength, comma 0 for the green, comma 0 for the blue, and then the color green I'm going to define as. What am I going to define that as? I'm going to define that as 0, 255, 0. Kind of had a brain glitch there because I was thinking about something 8 steps ahead and I kind of lost focus. Sorry about that, but those are my two colors. That is what we are going to do. And now the first thing that I want to do is I want to just see if I can just make it run one way. And so I'm going to say while true, when is true? True is always true. I am creating an infinite loop. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to come in, and now I need to write to each individual pixel. So I need to step for I in range. Okay, I'm going to start at pixel 0, and then I'm going to go up to pix size. Now you think pix size is 8, but I'm starting to count at 0. But the range function always stops one before the second variable. So it's going to stop at pix size minus 1, which is 7. So it's going to go from 0 to 7, which is 8 numbers. So it's we've gone over this over and over. It's kind of a crazy thing, but it will work. And we want to step 1 each time. Now what do I want to do? I want to say pix dot fill. I want to make them all red. Okay, I want to make them all red, so pix fill red. So I don't want to have to go through and do them all at once. So I'm going to say pix fill red. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to pix fill red, and now I'm going to pix of I. I'm going to turn the specific I one. I'm going to turn that equal to green, like that. Okay, now I'm going to do a pix dot write to write all those, and then I'm going to do a time dot sleep of 0.1. Okay, now you might say, well, you turn them all red and then you turn one green. Is it going to be blinking? No, it won't blink because I'm setting the data up with these two, and then I write it here. So it's going to cleanly, very cleanly put in the pattern that I put in. Now this one should be red. This one should be green dot running against a background of red. And so let's see if that is going to work. Could it really be that easy? Could it really be that easy? I don't know. I do need you guys to hold your breath, and let's see what happens. Denied. What is this? I define pix size. What is this nonsense? Case is important, my friend. Case is important. The real problem is one of you guys out there, one of you guys thought hold your breath business. I don't have to hold my breath. I think you know who it was. You know who you are, the one that didn't hold your breath, and I will need you to hold your breath this time along with everyone else. Boom, look at that. So I'm going right to left, and you can see that the green is going and then wrapping around and coming back, and that is actually very, very wonderful. Okay, so guys, thank you for holding your breath. Now, what I said, though, was I wanted it to go back and forth, and so really what I want to do now is I want to come in, and I want to go backwards. So I want to go forward, and then I want to go backwards. So now I'm going to say, for I in range. You might hear a dog downstairs. Yeah, I got a new dog. I'll tell you about that dog someday. In fact, I should have a live stream with my new dog. It's a pretty fantastic dog. It's a pretty fantastic dog. Okay, so now I've gone forward. I want to go backwards. So now I'm going to say for I in range, and this time I want to go from pick size. Okay, but you see, I can't start at pick size because it would start at pick size, which would be 8, which is too big. So I want to start at 7 because the 7th position is the 8th one, right, as we talked about. So I want to say pick size minus 1, which would be I start at 7. Okay, and now I need to go to 0, and then I need to step in minus 1 like that. And then I think this other stuff I think would be the same, don't you? I think it would be the same. So let's go like that. Okay, and so let's see if this will bounce back and forth, okay? Wow, look at that. Boom. Okay. Now, what's the one thing that I don't like? The one thing that I don't like is when it gets all the way over here, it pauses because I'm writing that one twice. Because in this first for loop, I go all the way up to pick size, which means it's going to write the 7th position, which is this number 8 here. Okay, it's going to write that one. And then here, where do I start? I start at the 7th position. Okay, I start at the 7th position. So it writes the 7th one, and it writes the 7th one. It's so confusing when you start at 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is the 8th physical one. Okay, but I'm writing it twice, and I don't want to write it twice because you see how it goes and then it pauses, and that kind of annoys me. So what I want to do is I could adjust it in either one of these positions, but it's the 7th one. So what I want to do is I want to stop at pick size minus 1, which would really stop at pick size minus 2 because it's already stopping 1 before. Now it's going to stop 1 before minus 1, which would be minus 2. And now this time I think it should run smoothly. So let's give that a look. Boom, look at that. So you see the thing is freewheeling now very, very naturally, very, very naturally. And so that looks really good. You know what I think I would rather do though is I think I want a running red. I want a running red on a green background. And so I'm going to set everything to green, and then I'm going to run it red. Now this might be interesting if I just did this because it's going to flip once it hits the end. Yeah, you see it hits and it flips. That's kind of neat. I kind of like that. Okay, but let's do it the way I really want to do it. So I'm going to have the green background, and then my pixel, my running pixel, is going to be a red pixel. So let's see how that looks. Giddy up. I've got the running red pixel. I really like that. Some of you guys that used to watch The Knight Rider, I don't know, that's a movie, and he had those lights on his car that did things. You could try to do some Knight Rider type of stuff on here, but I think I've shown you what you need to really go in and do some neat animations. And if you want to get a long string of them in a separate power supply, you could really, really do some pretty cool and some pretty impressive things. Okay, I want to give you one more homework. I want to give you a couple more homeworks because these pixels, you got to start taking all that stuff we've already learned, you know, how to do data structures, how to animate things, all that. And I want you to be exercising those skills that we learned in earlier lessons on a new component, which is the NeoPixel. And so this is what I want you to do. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to see if I can stop this. Okay, give me just a second. So I'm going to show you what the homework assignment is. And the homework assignment is going to be let's see. Okay, here you go. Boom. What you can see is I am running the pixels all together through the colors of the rainbow, very smoothly through the colors of the rainbow. And I will kind of give you a hint on this. You don't want to go in and just start making up a bunch of numbers. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. You know, sometimes I think I give too much of a hint. Sometimes I think I give too much of a hint. Give me a second here. Okay, sometimes I think I give you too much of a hint. But what I am doing is, if you look at that rainbow, and man, I wish you could see it in person because it's just so brilliant and vivid. And up here, maybe if you just look at the little stars that are being formed in the camera, you can see the colors more clearly. But it is really a very, very impressive and very brilliant thing that we are doing. But what to give you just a hint here, what I am doing is I am just running it around the HSV color wheel. So I'm running those pixels around the HSV color wheel. And so now it is your assignment, your homework assignment, to go in and just run these pixels through the HSV color wheel. Okay, guys, I hope that you are having as much fun taking these classes as I am making them. I am really, really enjoying these NeoPixel arrays. I'm really kind of tempted to just deck my house out with like thousands and thousands of these LEDs and really animate my house. But I kind of live in an area that might frighten people, so I probably won't be doing that. But there's just all types of stuff. You can think of some really cool Christmas lights. You might even kind of get started on getting your pixels and maybe start programming them up for next Christmas. Also, guys, I want to really thank you guys who are standing with me on Patreon. You guys are the ones that are keeping me in the game, and I appreciate your support. Want to thank you every week for that. You can also help me by giving me a thumbs up on this video. Leaving a comment down below will also help. You can also make sure that you subscribe to the channel. When you do, ring that bell to make sure that you get notifications when future lessons drop. And most importantly, make sure you share this video with other people, because the world needs more people doing coding and fewer people sitting around watching silly cat videos. Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later.